Greetings, everyone. This is the Gardening Snail of Livingston, California, just trying to keep the community informed and local government as honest as possible. Any editorial content is my own as a Livingston resident and does not represent the views and opinions of the Livingston City Council and the City of Livingston itself, and it does not hold itself out to be any kind of legal advice. In this video, we will be looking at an excerpt from the August 16, 2022 City Council meeting to see the discussion and council vote on the approval of the employment agreement with Chuck Hale as Livingston Police Chief.
Item number 5, approval of the appointment of Charles Hale as Chief of Police and ratification of employment agreement. Vanessa.
Yes, Mayor, council members. I am pleased to announce the appointment of Mr. Chuck Hale to the position of Chief of Police. Mr. Hale has served at the City of Livingston as the interim Chief of Police since November 2021. And during this assignment, Mr. Hale has implemented many operational efficiencies. We can name a few that the council has approved, which are the military ordinance update, MOUs for the fire range, upgraded equipment for our vehicles, and also the LPR cameras that are just being installed as we speak. Mr. Hale, in collaboration with city departments, has coordinated multiple community events, as well as gained the trust and respect of our law enforcement team. Through his education and over 20 years of law enforcement experience, which includes cities and county agencies, Mr. Hale definitely exceeds the qualifications to serve as the new chief for our police department. His dedication to service for our community is notable and commendable, and I am grateful Mr. Hale has decided to continue to lead our police department. So tonight, I bring this item to ratify the employment agreement for our Chief of Police, Mr. Chuck Hale.
Thank you, Vanessa. Open up for council. Council have any questions specific to ratification of the employment agreement? Any comments? Okay, we're going to take it out for public comment. Any public comment regarding this item? Remember, you have 3 minutes, starting from, just messing with you. I'm messing with you.
Please talk when I'm talking, that way I can get extra time, but I appreciate it. Good evening, council. I think it was, I don't know, maybe a couple of weeks, 3 weeks ago, somewhere, when I stood here and asked the council to please look at hiring a permanent chief and get away from the sheriff's office, and I asked each of you a direct question. I still want to thank you again for answering, but I didn't expect you guys to be this quick about it. Maria, thank you. You said you were going to hire permanent. I really, really appreciate it. And all of you guys, just a couple of questions, and Mr. Mayor, you can direct to whoever can answer my question, please. Regarding the contract, I've seen the terms of it. There doesn't seem to be an end date. Can somebody explain, is the end date really the no end date? Is it like a lifetime contract? Or can a certain notices be given at a certain time and it says, we wish to renegotiate or renew the contract, whatever. Can somebody please explain that? It's not for my purpose, it's more for the public purpose.
They could answer your question after you're done with your comment. Is that okay? Or is that part?
Well, it was going to answer, if you don't mind, Mr. Mayor, I really appreciate that.
Vanessa?
Yeah, definitely. The end date, there is no end date in this contract because that is the essence of an at-will employee. So the end date, basically, we have the termination clause where the employee could either terminate by resignation, and there are other several clauses, with or without fault, and so forth. So that is the purpose of our contract, to really solidify the at-will purpose of this agreement between our city and our department head.
So just to clarify, and I know I have read the terms on the contract, but there was, like you said, it is an at-will employee. So say in 4 years, if the city feels they need to step away from it, do a different direction, who knows? Things change over time. Or even Mr. Hale can say, you know what, time for me to go out in the mountains and whatever, People change minds, So that can be ended at any time. Is that correct?
That's the essence of the at-will employment.
Okay, that's what I have. And I want to just say that I don't know Mr. Hale until he came here. However, I know the sheriff's office, I don't think they would have people working there that didn't meet certain standards. And I feel in my mind or my view that Mr. Hale does meet the standards. Thank you very much.
Mayor and Council, I could clarify just a little bit. So
Yes.
kind of a little basic understanding. The city manager hires the police chief. The council ratifies the contract or not. So the agreement says that the city manager can terminate the agreement with or without cause at any time.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public?
Hello, my name is Dwight Larks, and I oppose Chuck Hale becoming chief of police. I've met with him personally, and I've seen him screaming and raging inside of the police department. This is something that I'm saying because it's absolutely true. Sticking his finger in my face, threatening me about if I bring up this or if I bring up that. Well, I'm here as a free citizen, hoping that you will reconsider this contract. We've all read online that he's got a past of lying to judges. I mean, that's what we've all read. And, not sure whether he ever paid that money or it was settled or what it was, but all we know is that a jury convicted him of lying to a judge and he was ordered to pay. So if you want that leadership in our town, then that's on you guys for now. But, I've had the unenviable experience of actually suing the city of Livingston over police brutality where a sergeant was convicted. And I hope we don't have to go through that again with anybody else in the city, but I'm afraid we will. If we have a person that has been caught lying to a judge in open court, if he can lie to a judge, who are all of you or me? And in terms of, this contract, I'm shocked that we don't have anybody else from our county that, submitted an application. I mean, there's a lot of good police chiefs out there that I know would want to come here. So I'm just shocked. And that's really what I have to say. Thank you.
Any other comments?
Good afternoon, Council, Mayor. My name is Rene Lopez. In retrospect to the hiring of Chuck Hale, same thing. Why are we hiring somebody with a record of misconduct? Can we not find anybody else in the public? Is there nobody else to hire but somebody that has a proven bad record? There has to be somebody out there. I mean, unless we're hiring people off the prison buses. Thank you.
Any other comment?
Am I good? Good evening. My name is Japjit. I'm 20 years old. I'm a third-year public health student at UC Merced. I graduated from LHS here in 2020. I'm actually working there right now as a college advisor and tutor. I also coach football at the high school, and we're most likely going to be practicing at this time every Tuesday moving forward, so I probably won't be able to be here, but I'm going to get as much out right now as I can. I should probably also say right now that nothing I say is representative of UC Merced, the high school, or the football program, and this is all my personal views and opinion. You probably don't know me, but I know most, if not all of you. Your families pretty well too, and I went to school with some of your kids. Anything I say is not meant towards any of them in any way, but solely to you as it pertains to your job as council members. I've been following your actions on and off for about the last year or two, and you guys are pathetic to say the least. I was here when resident after resident came to defend Mr. Ramirez, and they didn't want him to be removed. And you guys did it anyway, probably at least 10 to 20 people, huge line, saying they didn't want it to be done, but that's what happened. Mr. Moran, I know you voted against that, and thank you for that. And most of what I say isn't directed at you either. But for the rest of you who did make that vote, that was pathetic, it was corrupt, and honestly, it was just stupid. When residents of the town that you're representing come and tell you that that's something that they want done, you do the exact opposite. It's not what you're supposed to do. Since then, we've had police chiefs being fired, we've had officers being investigated, the state investigating our city election. Are you not embarrassed for our city? I'm genuinely curious. I spend most of my time following federal politics, and people are always telling me that I need to get more involved in the city and this and that. And I always think, you know what, we need to go more big picture, we need to help more people, but when in our own backyard, these are the things that are happening. Are we not embarrassed as a city? I'm so tired of hearing the comments about what's going on in our town and what our rep is. We're such a small town already as it is. We have so many people that are just grinding day in, day out, doing labor work, just trying to get by. And then they have people like you that are handling their tax dollars and doing the things that you are doing. And that's just embarrassing. And a lot of you guys were talking about public safety being a huge concern in the last meeting. Then there were people asking for the sheriff's department to be hired, but I'm not sure why that's not being done either. We have a police officer talking about them having staff shortages, and we have council members trying to lecture them on how a shortage is defined and how to run their department. And that's just not cool. And last week, there was an applause from the audience when a council member was called out. And then we had finger waving and saying that we don't appreciate your guys' applause. Well, we don't appreciate the corruption. We don't appreciate the BS. And come November, I hope most of you guys aren't here. Mr. Moran, I'll probably be voting for you for mayor. But for a lot of you, I hope that these are your last few months. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Any other public comment?
Hi, I'm Dell. One of the questions I wanted to ask you is, do convictions and judgments qualify as qualifications? Was there nobody else? Thank you.
Any other public comment?
Hello. I was listening to the meeting online before I got here, and I did hear, Maria, you brought up a comment that somebody sent you directly, but this is towards the lawyer. Is that proper, or should all comments be sent to the email that's assigned for public comment, or does each individual council member get emails and then they bring them up at the meeting?
Is this regarding this specific item?
Well, she said she was going to bring it up in this item. That's why I'm bringing it up now.
Okay. Tom?
Well, you members of the public can send emails to anybody you like, the entire council, individual council members, so it's appropriate either way.
Okay, so at any time, if anybody sends an email to whoever, they can, of course, they can at their will, but is that the right way to do it? Because that doesn't give everybody the right opportunity, I think. So it's just a question. It's not, I'm not saying it's, I also belong to same type of let's say I'm a board member for another place, and we don't allow that. It has to go through that email so that it's fair to everyone. And then it also has a time frame. It has to be sent by this time on this date before the meeting, so that for it to be fair. So I'm just asking. I'm not sure if it's right or wrong, or maybe we're just doing it that way. Thank you.
Any other public comment? You gonna read your email?
Thank you, Mayor. This was asked for all of the council, so I'll be the one that does it because it was brought to all of us. Please, if the city council members would address this question. Since it is illogical to have a corrupt cop in the police force, and it is even more illogical to put him as head of police force, we are wondering what the real motive is. What is the truth? It is unnatural to have a city council and a whole sheriff's department protect and promote a known liar, so there must be other reasons. Please tell us which of these reasons are likely to be the truth. reason this unnatural situation is being forced upon the citizenry. Hale is being hired as police chief because he promised that he would put his heart and soul into preventing cannabis or hemp sales in Livingston, thereby protecting the alcohol and tobacco commercial interests of co-workers and the sheriff's department. True or false? Hale is being hired because Sheriff Warnicki wants it real bad. True or false? And then, if the last is the truth, the next question is, why does Sheriff Warnicki want Hale in a position so badly? Councilmember transparency on this issue is greatly appreciated. Sister Kate.
Any other public comment? All right, we'll bring it back for further discussion or motions regarding this item.
I'll make the motion.
A motion by Mayor Pro Tem Garcia. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second by Councilmember Jose Moran. Monica, could you get roll call?
Roll call. Councilmember Soto. Shouldn't we have more discussion?
There's a motion on the table.
The mayor spoke before my motion.
What was that?
You did this to me last time.
There's a motion and a second, but what else would you like to say?
Or doesn't my motion have to die before?
You can have discussion before the motion, you can have discussion after the second.
Okay, go ahead.
Vanessa, again, this goes out to you. A question. I want to ask, were there any other qualified candidates within Stanislaus County, Merced County that was not brought to council?
There's no other qualified candidates. We've been having this conversation for 4 months now. We tried doing an extension, and I am just very thankful that Mr. Hale stepped up and became a qualified candidate for our city.
I'm just asking because I know that I have been reached out to by former police chiefs stating that there was an application sent and no response. So knowing that, as well as knowing that we had hired a consultant group and 4 candidates came forward, I was wondering why we couldn't go back and revisit those to see if citizens would like to review those citizens panels like we had before, because there are other applicants available to us. They just weren't brought out.
As I stated before, we do not have qualified candidates to put forth that I could put forth for our community or that I can appoint.
Any other comments? We do have a motion and a second.
Also, I'm just in the contract. It comes at a real big price tag. And I'm just wondering why we are going to approve such a high cost.
Mayor, council members, the severance clause, it's only applicable in the event that the employee it's let go without cause. In any other given event, that's not applicable. And really, this is something given to provide some stability to our department. That's the reason why we came up with this format, this de-escalating severance. It meets the government code for the allowed cap for severance clause. And really, it's designed to provide stability in our police department and to show commitment to our employee.
Again, I just want to remind everybody that's 160 in total. That could be about 200,000.
Any other comments, council?
So we continuing with my motion?
Yes, Monica, roll call.
Roll call. Councilmember Soto?
No.
Councilmember Moran?
Yes.
Councilmember King?
I'm going to abstain to this one.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia?
Yes.
Mayor Aguilar?
Yes.
Motion approved by a vote of 3-1.
If you like what I do here, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Facebook. If you don't, well, what can I tell you other than thanks for hanging out this long?